Hello everyone, welcome to Come Sit at My Table. We are Tom and Melissa, and we are thrilled to have you here watching this video with us. Today we are making chocolate with English toffee ice cream. Now this is a recipe that will fill a 4-quart ice cream canister. So if your ice cream maker is smaller than 4 quarts or larger than 4 quarts, you will need to adjust the amounts in the recipe. But this is for an electric ice cream maker that has a 4-quart canister. Let's talk about what you're going to need to make this ice cream. First, you're going to use 1/2 gallon of whole chocolate milk. Now, can you use 1%, 2% skim? Honestly, I don't know because I've never used anything but whole chocolate milk in this recipe. I would think it would work. It just may not be as creamy. It might be a little more like ice milk, but I think it would work. But I really do suggest if you're going to go to the trouble to make ice cream, make it with whole chocolate milk. Then you're going to need 1 cup of Hershey's chocolate syrup. Now, I probably shouldn't have said Hershey's because you could probably use a store brand. I've just always used Hershey syrup, but 1 cup of chocolate syrup. Then you're going to need 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Make sure it's sweetened condensed milk, not evaporated. You need the sweetness. You're also going to use 1 quart of heavy whipping cream. Now, make sure that you get something that says heavy whipping cream, not just another kind of milk or something. Make sure it's the heavy whipping cream because that also helps it with the creaminess and the thickness. And then you're going to top that off with a little bit of whole milk. Now, I can't tell you how much you're going to need because I've never measured it. I just combine the other 4 ingredients and then I fill my container with whole milk. And speaking of filling the container, you do not want to fill your canister to the very top. You want to leave about 2 to 3 inches at the top empty because as the ice cream freezes, it will expand and it will be pretty full when you finish. So make sure you leave at least 2 inches, maybe a little more, but 2 inches probably should do it. Then for our ice cream, we're going to add in some English Toffee Bits. Now we're using Heath today. It's like Heath bars. And if you want to get Heath bars or some other English toffee bars and chop them up, you can. But this just makes it really easy. You can just buy these bags of English Toffee Bits. And we will stir those in after the ice cream is frozen. Now, one thing I really like, I'm going to move all this back, but one thing I really like about this recipe is that you just stir it together in the canister. You don't have to have any bowls or anything else. You just put it together in the canister you're making it in and stir it up. So we're going in with the entire 1/2 gallon of chocolate milk. Yum. Okay, then we're going to stir in our 1 cup of Hershey syrup. Actually, I'm going to whisk that in as I pour it. Try to keep it dissolved in there so it doesn't just pool on the bottom. Just whisk that in. Get it mixed into that chocolate milk really well. And I know that's a lot of chocolate milk and chocolate syrup, but you are going to add heavy whipping cream and whole milk, which will dilute it. So it's not going to be that chocolatey. It's plenty chocolatey, but it won't be overpowering because you are diluting it. Okay. Let's whisk that in a little bit just to make sure it's mixed in there good. Now we're going to add our sweetened condensed milk. And we'll do the same thing. We will whisk that in as we pour just to make sure that it gets mixed up really well. As you can see, we're not going to need much whole milk. By the time we add that whipping cream, we may not need any. We'll see. Now this sweetened condensed milk is helping to add some sweetness. That's why you want to make sure you have sweetened condensed milk. Just adds to the richness. And just, you know, be aware, we're not making a kale salad here.
Not in the diet book.
No. This is ice cream. And I don't know about you, but, you know, we don't make ice cream every day. We make ice cream a few times a summer. Not very often. So it's okay to splurge and have something a little sweet.
I'm actually making this for a retirement party.
We are. We have a friend who is retiring, and we're making homemade ice cream for her party. Other people are doing grilled burgers and hot dogs and that kind of thing. We are not going to need any whole milk.
So that's pretty
Actually,
cool.
I don't think I'm going to even use all that whipping cream. By the time I get the paddle in there, it's going to be full. Okay. So there we go. Now, hope that'll sit there. Now we're just going to take our canister over and we will put it in our ice cream bucket. Let me show you the bucket. An ice cream bucket will have a hole in it right here. That's to let the water drain out as the ice melts around your canister as it's freezing. If that hole gets clogged with ice and or salt, that will allow the bucket to fill up with salt water, basically. And then that's going to seep into your canister. You don't want that to happen. So I normally, every few minutes, just stick my pinky finger in that hole to make sure that it's not clogged with ice, make sure it leaves plenty of room for that water to flow out of there. Okay, and I always do this in my sink because you are going to have some of that water come out of there. All right, now we've got our mix in. I'm putting our paddle in. Put our lid on, and there are notches in the canister where there are notches on the lid, and they fit right down in there to make a nice tight fit. Then we'll put our motor on. That just sits right on top there. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get that down in that hole of the motor, but you know, you just have to work with it. Come on. Where's that hole? I see it. It needs to be that way. There we go. And then fit it right into the slots on the bucket. Now, once it's all put together, you can go ahead and plug it in. And you'll see that the canister is now turning. So now we need to put some ice in. So we will go in with some ice that's been crushed up. It's just a bag of ice that I bought at the store. And we'll just put some, I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can get that in there. We'll just put some ice right down in there. We want to go, ooh, there's a big chunk. That needs broken up. We'll go about half full. Make sure it's off the top of the canister. Let's see, we need a little bit back here. Now we need some ice cream salt. Now, table salt will not work. You have to have ice cream salt for it to melt. And you do not want to get that salt up on the lid of your ice cream canister if you can keep from it. And you just want to put a good layer right on top of that ice, front and back. I'm going to say, oh, I don't know, a good cup, probably. That helps when the ice is turning. I can just put it all the way around that way. Okay. Now, I'm going to scrape off the top of my canister again, just in case I got a little bit of that salt up on there. Now we're going to go in with another layer of ice. And you'll notice now that we've gotten a good layer of ice in there, the ice doesn't turn as much. Well, it has started again, but that's okay. We'll get it. Put some right here. Okay. We've got another layer of ice. So we're going to go in with another layer of ice cream salt. You do not want that salt up around the edge of your ice cream canister, because you do not want salt in that ice cream, especially this ice cream salt. Keep it back away from that. Okay, now we're going to let that continue to run. As that ice begins to melt, I'm going to put just a little bit more right here. Okay, as that ice begins to melt, we will add more ice as needed and more salt if needed. Now, in another video we did about ice cream, Melissa asked me what the purpose of the salt was, and I thought I knew, but I had to research to make sure I knew, and I was right, which is not always the case. But the salt, ice cream salt, lowers the freezing point of the water from the melted ice, so it won't freeze at 32 degrees. And that way the canister gets very cold and freezes the ice cream mixture around the edge of the canister. So you have to have ice cream salt. Regular table salt just won't do it. Okay, we'll continue to add ice and salt as it melts. It'll take anywhere from probably 15 to 30 minutes, maybe a little longer, just depends on how fast it freezes today. So we will be back and let you see it when it's about ready. All right, we have taken our ice cream canister out of our ice cream bucket tub because it finished churning. So now we're just going to take the top off. Oh, it looks good. You want to try a bite, babe?
Yes.
I knew that answer. Okay. Here you go. Is it chocolatey enough?
Yes, that's very good.
Okay. So we will take the paddle out. If I can get it out. I'd have to force it up out of there. It's pretty thick, which is a good thing. Come on. Come up out of there. There, I got hold of it. And we want to scrape all that off there.
You did wash the canister, right?
I did. I washed the canister off. You got to get that salt off the outside of it. You sure don't want to get any of that salt in it. That would ruin your ice cream. So the first thing you do when you take that canister out is wash it off really well. Now, your ice cream is not completely frozen, of course. You will have to put it in the freezer and let it finish freezing. And that'll take several hours to maybe overnight. You can just leave it in the freezer until it's the consistency you want, and it will freeze solid, just like ice cream you get from the store. But before we do that, we want to stir in our English toffee pieces. Okay, that's about as good as I think I'm going to get it. So let's move this to the sink. And let's open. I'm not sure if I'm going to do 1 bag or 2 bags. We're going to see what 1 bag looks like, and I might have to add the 2nd bag. Let's just open that all the way up. Okay, stir that in. Melissa?
Yes.
How do you feel about English toffee pieces?
Well, it's one of my favorites. Of course, yesterday we made mint chocolate chip, and that was one of my favorites too. So, yeah, there aren't many ice cream flavors that I don't like.
There are a few.
Some that I, yeah, I'm not a big pistachio person. That's the one I'm not crazy about.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I like it all.
Okay, I'm thinking I am going to put the 2nd bag in it. Because I'd rather have too much in it than not enough. So, I may not use all of it. We'll see. Of course, when you're making it at home, you can put as much or as little as you'd like. Or none. You can just have chocolate ice cream.
It was really good as chocolate ice cream.
Yeah. It's just, since we're making this for a retirement party, just makes it a little more interesting. It's not so plain. Okay. Now, we will transfer this. Let me grab my container. We will transfer this to a container. You think I need that other half bag? I think it might be enough. Maybe I'll sprinkle some on top. All right. So in we go. And you can see that's pretty thick already. But it will get thicker, I promise you. Should we save just a little bit for us?
Oh, gee, if we have to, we'll just
think we should.
sacrifices we make.
Yeah, I am going to put just a little bit on top so we know what it is.
Like we would forget. But hey, I'm good with that reasoning. I can go with that.
Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to get the top on it, and we will get this in the freezer. All right, folks, we do appreciate that you came to watch our video. If you haven't made ice cream this summer, get out your ice cream maker. If you don't have one, go get one.
It's technically not even summer yet.
Well, it feels like summer. It's warm like summer. So make you a batch of ice cream. And remember, oh, wait a minute, I forgot. Don't forget to like our video, give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And remember, you are always welcome to come sit at my table. Have a great day.